Lydia Walter. Why East Coast Bowhunting Podcast?
Because neither one of us wear pink camo.
East Coast Bowhunting Podcast. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Look, man, I'm from Wisconsin. I listen to the East Coast Bowhunters because you don't get anything more real than these guys.
Because East Coast Bowhunting sets the standards for keeping its listeners informed on everything that matters in the hunting industry.
It's nice having somebody, local and represent the East Coast boys.
The East Coast is going to saddle up.
Number one source for slaying whitetails on the East Coast.
Well, you might see Jesus if you actually do something, it'll get you into heaven.
Why East Coast? Why not? I'm East Coast, baby. That's how we roll. Chew on that.
Come on the show, a stranger, and you feel like one of the boys when you leave.
Because I get my hunting camp anytime I want.
There's some absolute monsters roaming the East Coast, and I think it needs a little attention, so why not bring it to the East Coast Bowhunters Podcast?
Man, because East Coast is a tight-knit crew, and y'all like me. Raw, real, no bullshit.
Because you guys are hometown boys. I love you guys.
This is Kurt Geyer with Working Class Bowhunter, and East Coast Bowhunting Podcast is the only hunting podcast I'll tune into.
Hell yeah. Love me some East Coast hardcore. Word, Trev?
Word.
Always grinding hard wears me thin. This is exactly why I live for this shit. We all need to buck up, buttercup, and get conservation numbers up, my homie. Oh, hey. Didn't know you were there. Come in. Have a seat. This is Slayer's Studio. We are the East Coast Bowhunting Podcast, Coventry, Connecticut, hiding in the mountains of God's heaven. I'm your boy D-Rock here with
Trev.
And we talking to Jana Waller from Skullbound TV, a.k.a. Jana Banana, a.k.a. Well, stay tuned for the other nickname. This episode is brought to you by Shabeen Brewing, the Hunter's Beer.
The best beer in the East Coast.
100 Demons, East Coast hardcore music, known worldwide.
Hardcore as fuck.
Trev's Euros for all your Euromount needs.
That dude sucks.
Yeah, a little bit. Encore Targets, self-healing targets to self-heal your pockets.
Yep, they're the best.
My Air Trail Cameras, who's on your hit list?
Eye-to-eye contact.
Oh, I like that one. Outright Hunting Products. The Morph Pro is the last bow hanger you'll ever buy.
Connector set for grown-ass men.
Erector set is what he meant to say.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, close enough. Ethics Archery. It's like steroids for your arrows.
Hit them hard, hit them low, watch them die.
What's our promo code there?
East Coast 10.
Word, I like that. Death Wish Coffee, fueled by death.
Like crack in a cup.
What's our promo code for that?
East Coast 10.
Ooh, East Coast. Tree Thrasher, imitate the wild.
Making it real in the tree.
What's our promo code for that?
East Coast 15.
Nor'easter Game Calls, get them in close.
Call them in.
No promo code for that yet, but we're working on something. Mark and I got a little something brewing.
Hell yeah.
Saddle up with Wild Edge Inc., the leader in mobile hunting.
If it can hold my fat ass, it'll hold yours.
And that's straight up. What's our promo code there?
East Coast AID. AID.
Not AIDS.
AID.
AID. This show is driven by Scranton Motors and powered by Scranton Power Sports. This show is presented by Working Class Bowhunter, the OGs in the hunting podcast, the brand in the hunting industry, the voice of the Midwest. East Coast Bowhunting Podcast is here as always for new and old hunters by sharing our experiences in the woods through playing and slaying. What's up?
What's up, D-Rock?
What's good, Trev?
Not, man. Really excited to be here tonight.
Why are you excited?
Because it's just been a great grind, and you know, we got a really good guest coming on. I'm really excited to hear from her. And
I know. Jana is the shit.
She's a bad ass. Badass.
She's savage for sure. For sure.
She kills some giants, too. Don't let her fool you. Don't
know.
let her fool you.
Yo, we were chatting on the phone with her earlier, and she's just going over what she has on her wall. I'm like, damn, I need to buck up. I just said I need to buck up, Buttercup. Her man cave's more man cave than mine. It's like, damn.
Mountain lions, mule deer, giant
moose.
I mean, her moose is over 60 inches. She'll talk about it, but really, really excited to hear from her.
Hell yeah! So let's recap this past week. Actually, this past day. What happened to you this morning in the woods?
This morning in the woods, I did it again.
Did you just quote
Britney Spears?
Are you wearing a little girl's school uniform right now?
No.
Tell the truth. Come on.
Nah.
Did you just do who's that?
The angry dolphin.
Almost sounded like who's that? Mace?
Yeah.
Damn, so take the half shirt off and put on a real shirt. I don't want to see that saddle up tattoo.
So anyways,
will you put some shorts on? Take the skirt off.
Oh, man.
All right, let's hear what happened this morning in the woods.
So I got into the woods this morning, and I called in a couple of birds. They were right where I left them last time. I went in back, as all of you have seen my video on me shooting the Jake 2 days ago. There was a big gobbler.
Are you bragging?
No.
Oh, almost sound like you're bragging a little bit.
Why? No.
As you saw my video, I killed one the other day.
Well, I was able to take down a Jake the other day after missing the gobbler. And so I decided, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to try and get that gobbler. Well,
I commend you for leaving the boomstick at home because I know you were so close to breaking it out.
I did. I did bring it out yesterday, but I brought out the bow today. Actually, when I got home from when I got home from hunting yesterday, I went in and tuned up some of my arrows. I brought them down from 709 grains. I'm in the 593 grains.
Which is still pretty up there.
It is. I just wanted to bring it down a little bit more, get a little bit more speed, get the arc out of it. So I went in with the bow today, back where I had shot the Jake, and the gobbler was in there. And lo and behold, I went in there. It was a little bit windy. I had to move a little bit closer to where they were. And I hit the call, and they started gobbling. And
Which call, though? For like newbies. Which call did you use?
I actually used my Nor'easter game call box call to start off. Nice. And I ended up getting more than one gobble, and I was not ready for that. And so I kept calling at them, and they came out on a string, and there was 3 of them.
And it's crazy. I need to interrupt because they're coming around. They've been silent for the beginning of the season. And they're starting to come around, and podcast land right now. This is probably the week after closing, or probably the weekend after season end for Connecticut, anyways, and most of the East Coast. But they were so fired up that they gave you seconds to set up. I even kind of like broke it down for you when you showed me the video. I'm like, why'd you put the hen here?
Oh, yeah.
But you had like no time to think, and you had to like really put everything down.
The past like 3 days, they have been on fire. I mean fire. Especially if you're moving in on them and knowing where they are. You let a call, and they are on you like white on rice. It is just, it's insane. It's a sigh of relief. Because they weren't like that before, and we were putting in hard time to try and kill these birds, and finally, they are on fire. So I hit the call, they started gobbling, so that I knew where they were. I set up accordingly, and I started calling, and they came in on a string. And
what kind of string? Was it thick? Was it like a tethered rope?
It was more like a
climbing rope?
It was a rope.
Okay.
And I was just pulling them along, and they came right in, man, and they set up perfectly, and I was able to just lay the fucking smack down
Did you cut the Zeus loose?
I did cut the Zeus loose.
Shout out to Zeus Broadheads and Nick Albanese.
Let me take a time out on that because the Zeus, I am so happy with that broadhead. It is mind blowing. I've shot 2 turkeys with it thus far, and let me tell you something. They didn't go over 5 yards away from when you lay into these birds it's fucking insane. I have never seen a broadhead do what the Zeus does to a turkey.
And just to interject a little bit, is there's been a lot of, hoopla and interjection and opinions on the Zeus broadhead. But just to be clear, the Zeus broadhead is made for fast, lighter arrows. It's its most effective way to demonstrate its potential. Because there's been a lot of videos on social, of course, social. It's like we love social because it's free marketing, right? And
I
it's
wasn't
free
going to
connection.
go here, but if we're going to go there, let's go there.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I do love social. I'm
Yep.
going to start positive, interject with negative and end positive. But I love social because it's free marketing. You get to connect with all the people across the nation, and across the world. But at the same time, it could give you wrong impressions and false information, like fake news. So just to be clear, the Zeus broadhead was designed for a lighter setup, right around 500 grains at the most, like 590-ish. Yeah. And then this way, if you want to reuse it, it's aluminum ferrule. So you don't want an insert running behind it unless you're trying to destroy your broadhead.
Can I interject 1 second?
In a moment.
Okay.
In a moment.
All right.
But because I'm shooting 709 grains, so it's going to the weakest point is going to be the Zeus broadhead.
Of course, and it's aluminum head. What do you expect is going to happen?
Well, aluminum ferrule, but yeah, steel tip head. And what I'm getting at is there's been a lot of videos, both positive and negative, and the negative ones that I saw, they were running inserts, shooting through cow femurs. It's like damn near shooting through stone almost, or hard oak. If you do the math and logistics, obviously the weakest point is the Zeus broadhead. But if you shoot it with a fast arrow, lighter setup, guess what? It's reusable.
It's on. It's
so
on.
what you have to say?
No, I'd say if I could make a recommendation, if you're gonna shoot the Zeus broadhead, I would shoot this broadhead somewhere between 390 and 450. I think is like the sweet spot on that broadhead.
450, I want to say, is the ultimate prime.
Yeah, and that's why I brought my broadheads down. My arrows down into the 600 range.
Your FLC, yeah.
Because I was way too high on them. But the thing with it is that with it being so fast, it doesn't even give it a second to even think about faulting on the broadhead, and the broadhead is for it. Yeah, of course.
Oh.
No.
That's why they call it smart head technology.
That's it.
I get it.
The hardest hitting broadhead, and that is the fucking truth. Let me tell you something. When I shot the Jake I shot it with a hex, and I'm at about 390 FOC, and that thing just tore it up. It was insane. So I shot it with the 500, and I got the same results as I did. 600 as I
grains,
did.
600 grains.
Yep.
300. Was it 390 grains?
390 grains.
Oh,
yep.
okay.
I'm sorry.
No. I'm just
390 grains, and then I shot it with a 600 grain today. Same result. It's a turkey, but if I was to use for a deer setup, I would bring it down into the 500 range. Honestly. I think that they're most effective that way. Whether they're going against, I don't know. It's going against what is the theory on the 641, the maximum penetration with speed, so on and so forth. But those broadheads are sick. They are out of control.
So you're a believer.
True believer.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I love it. What are you sipping on right now?
Shabine.
Which one?
I got the John Beer.
John Beer, to keep it clear. That's awesome. Yeah. I'm actually... Oh.
Whoa. Welcome, my fellow arrow slingers. Today, the weekly deer news is brought to you by Trev. And all I got to say is mark your calendars. July 20th is for your working class bow hunter shoot this year in Iowa.
July what?
July 20th.
Ooh. I'm looking forward to that.
Do you know what else is July 20th?
I think some kind of burly man's birthday. Some kind of hillbilly. I forgot his name, though. Whose birthday is it?
My boy. That's mine.
Oh, really?
My birthday.
Your birthday. I knew it was something.
Yep.
That's how old are you going to be?
I'm going
12 again?
No.
14.
13.
Ah.
I'll be 29.
29 going on 15.
Absolutely. So, in other news, Mass is trying to ban coyote hunting competitions. These competitions are held in Granby, Massachusetts, and Hyannis, Massachusetts. These contests are made to raise money for the Shriers. People are opposing it, saying that it's a bloodthirsty event, but not in that. But they are killing off the predators. I think it's a positive thing.
And all the money goes directly towards conservation as well.
Right? Exactly. So, and a good charity cause.
And just to educate our listeners, for the people that may be tuning in for the first time or the anti or borderline, whatever, number one conservationist contributions come from hunters. Just so people know.
100%. 100%. That's why we have the lands that we have to hunt. That's why we have the bird watching areas. That's because of conservationists buying their stamps, their tags, so on and so forth.
What else we got, Trev?
On another subject of banning things, there is a federal ban going on in Connecticut about taking away the importation of the Big Five.
Elaborate, please.
The Big Five is an elephant, Cape buffalo, lion, rhino, and leopard. They are trying to make it an imprisonment charge.
Really?
That was after the whole Cecil. I knew.
We'll get into that.
I purposely did that, but
no, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
All right, yeah. All right. That's how I know it as. But also, please make sure to do your part and join in on the conservation groups. Whether that's the Dallas Safari, whether that's the NWTF, whether that's Ducks Unlimited, whatever it is, do your part.
Pheasants Forever, TRCP, Pope and Young, Boone and Crockett. I mean, sky's the limit. Join.
Make sure.
Backcountry Hunters.
Even if you don't join, be part of it. Go to the dinners. Donate. Whatever you have to do, please, please, please do your part as a conservationist.
Please?
Please.
Cool. What else we got?
Now with the turkey season being over, I'm sorry, I'm bad at this with the notes.
It's okay.
The
You're
notes
doing good,
and
man.
shit. I'm sorry.
You're doing good. You're doing good. What you got?
Now with the season, the turkey season being over, under our belt, and now it's time for us to think about other things to do in the off season. The number one thing that I think about is velvet season and scouting and putting up tree stands, so on and so forth. That's more of like the work side of it, but it's something to think about now. This is we need to prep for our next upcoming deer season.
So get your Meyer trail cameras. Get them.
That's it.
So you can see who's on your hit list.
That's it. And on the funner side of it, get your bows ready. Tune your bows. Get them out on the water and shoot fish. Invasive species fish. Do your conservation part on that aspect. Still hunting, but over water.
Hell yeah. Go down to Maryland. Check out Working Class Outdoorsman and the Modern Assassin. They have a killer badass boat where you can go bow fish anything you want, especially stingray. I mean, over at Chesapeake Bay, do it up.
And they have a charter service. Working Class Outdoors.
And they play East Coast Bowhunting Podcast episodes.
While fishing.
Yeah. Doesn't get much better than that.
No, you can have it all.
I hate my voice, but I'll listen to Trev talk.
That's it.
Yeah.
No.
Trev's bloopers.
So I guess on that note, this is your weekly news brought to you by Trev.
And send him your nudes.
News.
No, you want the nudes. I want the news. Send Trev the nudes. All right, let's get Jana Waller on the phone.
Let's do it.
All right, peace.
Hunting is about a deeper connection to everything that's real.
This is what it's all about.
It's conquering the hills and taking on the mountains.
This is a Texas monster.
Hunting is about patience, discipline, and perseverance.
This moment that it finally all comes together.
It's important to me to give back to help preserve what I love and to show that hunting is not about killing. It's about living.
All right, so we're back with Jana Waller from Skullbound TV. How you doing, Jana?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to chatting with some East Coast boys.
Hell yeah, that's what we're talking about. We've been looking forward to this since I got a hold of you. And you know what? The best part about it is we reached out to you and you reached back pretty quickly. And that's something we recently recorded with Chris Kiefer. And that's one thing that he specifically said is reaching back to your audience is very important. And I commend you for that for sure.
Oh, thanks so much. I've always felt that. You know, I've been doing Skullbound for a decade now, and I'm just like everybody else. I mean, life gets busy, of course, and it's hard to get back to everybody. But at the same time, we're just a bunch of men and women who love to hunt, too, and love to talk about products and exciting adventures. And I really try hard. I run all of my own social media, and so
wow,
it can be hard to keep up, but I try to get back to everybody as quickly as I can. But thanks for mentioning that. That means a lot.
Awesome. So yeah, let's kick it off. Jana Banana, who are you? Who are you? Where are you from? And where can we find you?
Okay, I am Jana Waller. I am from the beautiful Bitterroot Valley of Montana. I host a show called Skullbound. It is on Sportsman's Channel. We are currently airing season 8, and we're working on season 9 already. We've been on that Sportsman's Channel the entire time. They've been a great platform for us. And probably one of the reasons we're a little bit different than other shows is it's a solo female hosted show. I host the show. Jim Kinsey produces the show. He is on the show sometimes because we do a lot of do-it-yourself style hunting, and where I'll turn the camera on him, but we are not a couples show. And the reason it's called Skullbound is I'm a skull artist. I bead and paint skulls as what started out as a hobby, sort of a living now. And that's the reason for Skullbound, bound to make a difference being our tagline, because we're just hoping to preserve our hunting heritage through all of our conservation groups. And I try to raise a lot of money with my artwork.
That's dope as fuck. That's dope. And where can we find your artwork actually?
You can peruse my artwork on our social media on Skullbound TV on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. But if you go to paintedskulls.com or beadedskulls.com, they both lead to the same site, you'll see a bunch of different pictures of just skull work.
Well, we're going to need to talk because I'm actually a taxidermist and have demersed beetles, and that's what I do for a full-time job here in Connecticut.
Oh, no way.
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I had no idea. Well, yeah, from one scale gal to a skull guy, yeah, I'm obsessed with skulls. I always have been. Even as a kid, I was, the reason my dad got me into hunting is because I was always outdoors, playing in the mud, catching frogs, finding raccoon skulls, you name it. And he just really saw that passion in nature. And I was the second girl, 2 girls in the family, and he sort of turned me into a boy because I think he wanted one so bad. But greatest gift he ever gave me, too. And then he just started letting me tag along in the pheasant fields of Wisconsin and sit in the duck blinds with them and the tree stands. And but really it's that love of nature, anything nature, from sheds to frogs to skulls, you name it. And then I started, I'm a huge shed hunter, and so when you're looking for sheds, of course, you often find winter kills or highway kills or what have you, and then I would start to paint them. Sort of started in a Native American style design in the whitetail skulls that I would find, and I'd hang them up in my office when I lived in Wisconsin, or I'd do 1 or 2 for friends, and it just slowly progressed into stoning them with, oh, geez, they look so different. If you go onto my site, some have arrowheads, some are all wooden beaded, some are really blinged up with Swarovski crystals. But it's been so fun to take my passion for skulls and taxidermy work and sort of make it a semi-career.
That's awesome.
That's
love
so
it.
cool.
Yeah. I'm falling more and more in love. What is, you mentioned your dad got you into hunting. What is your earliest memory in the woods?
My earliest memory, really fun, of all my memories, I have the photo, and it's probably the photo that triggers the memory. But I was probably 2.5, 3 years old. I remember waiting for my dad to get home because he was duck hunting, and I used to love the smell of the ducks. Anyone who knows anything about waterfowl is they have this distinct smell.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember loving to bury my face in these ducks when he would bring them home, and I loved the mallard heads, the green feathers. I remember waiting for my dad, begging my mom that I could wait in the garage, and I have my big boots on and tights and my big furry coat on, and waiting for my dad to bring home and see what he caught. And I have a picture of him leaning down with me with 3 or 4 ducks, and like I said, I was 2.5, 3 years old, and I remember that moment. And it's funny because it's my earliest memory. And then I remember sitting with him in the duck blinds. I was probably 7 or 8 years old, and just chit-chatting and watching birds fly by, and like going out and getting them when we'd sit over fields more so than water. And it wasn't until time, and then he was smart enough to sign me up for hunter safety when I was 12 years old in Wisconsin. And then we started pheasant hunting together. And it was our annual trip to drive from Wisconsin to South Dakota to where we would pheasant hunt together. And I would be the flusher and walk the fields. And then I was the official bird gutter every year. I have the funniest pictures of me, like covered in blood up to my elbows, gutting all these pheasants when I'm 12, 13, 14 years old. And when most girls were probably worried about what color nails to paint their hands, what color to put on their nails, I was
blood red.
I was totally into looking into pheasants' gizzards to see what they ate. I was just a weird young gal. But at the same time, that passion is that's why my dad and I, he's one of my best friends. He's 77 years old. And it's truly because of that connection through hunting that bonds us, that we always have something to talk to each other about. So.
Man, I love it. That's really cool. So, and you could kind of tell, I was going to ask where you're from your childhood, but your accent gives it away. And
I know, right?
Wisconsin.
I don't even hear it. And and it's really funny because I live in Montana. I've lived in the Bitterroot for 10 years, and I don't hear it at all. But it's at least once a week where someone kind of looks at me and goes, Minnesota or Wisconsin? I'm like, really? Like, you do it just from listening? Once in a while, someone will think I'm Canadian. But, yeah, apparently those O's and A's, bag and tag, whenever I say that, apparently that gives it away.
It's cool, though.
Yeah.
It makes it fun. Right. I'm sure we have an accent to you, too. So
a little bit. Not bad. A little bit. I will never forget, I was in Australia. I was 18 years old in Australia with some friends touring the coast and bopping around like little, gypsies staying in youth hostels. And a guy said to me, for the first time that ever dawned on me, I always thought just people from the South had accents, Southern accent. And I never even thought of the fact that Wisconsinites had an accent. And we were in Australia, and a guy was talking to us at a grocery store, and he said, where are y'all ladies from? It must be Canada or Minnesota or Wisconsin, maybe. And I was like, oh, how did he know that? I was just absolutely shocked, And then the older you get, you realize every single state has a different twang to it, whether it's Tennessee or Boston,
Oh, yeah.
But I'm actually very, very proud of my Wisconsin heritage. So it actually makes little edge of my mouth curve up in a smile anytime someone hears that accent. So.
Cool. That's what we're here for. All smiles.
Yeah.
And maybe some beers, too. You know what?
That doesn't hurt.
On that note, let's tribute to that. Cheers.
Shabine.
Good stuff. So is it safe to say, I was going to ask you who your childhood hero was, but it's safe to say that your dad was?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Yep, by far.
And what about versus now? Who's your idol or role model now?
I mean, of course, he is a huge, right up there at the top of the list. I love my dad. Oh my gosh, he's so funny. My humor comes from my dad, and that is one of my favorite things about myself, is I feel like I have been given an amazing sense of humor. It's not humanly possible to offend me. I might not like something someone says, but like never in a million years would I be, oh, that's so offensive. Like never. I usually laugh.
Wait. How was that again?
Oh, so offensive. I love my dad's humor. To me is it's priceless. He can make a crowd roll on the ground with a joke still at 77 years old. And the way he delivers them, his joke, he's just a funny, awesome guy to be around. So definitely a role model to me of someone who's always looks at the bright side of things. He's super funny, maybe even a tad inappropriate now and then.
All daddies are, I think.
Yeah. But that's what's given me, thick skin, and that's what's given me the power to look at things from different perspectives and laugh about stuff and not get uptight. That's the way he is. If I had to name a role model in the hunting industry, or the hunting world, industry is kind of a weird word. I have a lot of them, and a lot of them aren't even maybe what most people would think of as like hunting celebrities, which I hate the word, by the way, but like famous hunting people, I look up to, let's take women, for example, the category women. Jordan Budd. Budd is good one. Jordan. Yeah. Do you know Jordan? She's a guide, outfitter. She is an amazing gal. Like this last year, she went and arrowed a beautiful bull, field dressed that bull up by herself, was hunting by herself, packed the bull out by herself. Like she's just a badass. Yeah. She's someone that I have mad respect for. Might not be as famous as some of the other women. Melissa Bachman. She is probably the most legitimate, hardcore, bust her butt woman that I just have such mad respect for. She has been in this industry for so long, even before people even knew her. She was behind the camera filming all the guys. She's been a hunter herself since she could walk. She's just an all-around badass, and I really, really love and respect her. She's definitely one of my female idols. Christy Titus is another awesome hunter.
You're like naming the dream team here.
Yeah, right?
I'm liking it.
These girls are legit. Titus knows or runs her own mules. She doesn't need anyone else. She shoots her own matches, sights her own guns, and does her own ballistics. She's really into the shooter side of things recently, which I think is amazing. That she's single. She's on her own. She's traveling to these matches. She's doing her dope by herself. She's got nobody else out there teaching her how to do it. She's got coaches, of course, but that to me is tremendously respectful. I'm just really lucky to have friends out there that are inspiring to me as a woman in the hunting industry. Let's think of some of my guy idols in the hunting world. Ryan Lampert's. If you guys want to ever listen to another awesome podcast that talks a lot about hunting, but also health, his wife is a doctor, Dr. Hillary Lampert's, and they have Hunt Harvest Health podcast. But he is a backcountry, do-it-yourself badass that I totally admire. And there's a lot of badasses out there like him, but what I love about Ryan is he's so humble. He's not look at me, I'm all this, look how great I am kind of guy. He's actually the opposite. Very humble, very successful every year. Just a total badass. Stealthy Hunter is his Instagram account.
Nice.
There's a lot of people. I'm just surrounded by a lot of people who inspire me daily.
That's really cool. So, since you're naming all these dream team people, who would be your top 3 in your dream team deer camp, would you say?
Ooh.
And it could be anyone, though.
Yeah, okay. Top 3 dream team deer camp. Whew, that's hard. Okay, I'm going to eliminate all my girlfriends because one of them's going to get mad I don't say the other one. So,
okay. Smart move.
Yeah. I would want Julie McQueen, one of my best friends on the planet. No one makes me laugh on this planet better than that girl. So I would want Jules there for laughs no matter what. And then all the other girls I mentioned too would be epic. But let's think of 3 new people. Oh, let's see. Guys, that's a toughie. I was just at turkey camp with a bunch of my friends that we do a wall tent turkey camp in the Missouri River Breaks every year. And I'm so lucky. I get to do this kind of thing with my dream team people like Jason Matzinger, Willie Schmidt, Greg McAlpin, all these people that are so funny. I gravitate towards people who make me laugh. Life is tough sometimes. I'd rather be around someone who makes everything fun. Yeah. I'm going to go back. I'm going to come back to this one. I got to think about this a little bit.
Okay.
Dream Team.
I'm glad I stumped you. That's a good one.
Yeah.
There you go. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that.
Let's come back to that one.
Let's go a little bit back in time. And what'd you go to school for?
I went to school for public relations. I went to UW Whitewater in Wisconsin. It's funny because never in a million years did I think I'd be doing what I'm doing today of hosting and producing a hunting show. I actually
a hunting show.
A hunting show. I actually, but the majority of my adult life pre-Skullbound was actually I worked for Edward Jones Investments. So completely different career change. I worked for the investment industry for 10 years and always hunted and fished and been outdoorsy. I've been a freelance outdoor writer for maybe 17 years now, writing for hunting magazines and websites and stuff just to stay connected, to other hunters. And it was so fun back in the day to write an article and get like free gear from it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I used to write for womenhunters.com, which at the time back in the day was the #1 women's website for hunting. And I believe now it's probably the one, Women Outdoor News. And I've written some for them as well. But anyway, then major life change and moved out to Montana, started Skullbound. But my degree is public relations, which really has a lot to do with what we do. People think I hunt for a living. They have no idea. They it must be really nice. You just get to go out to the mountains every day and hunt.
It's like,
That's
wish.
so great. You get paid for that. Wow. How does that work? No, it's really actually a major business model. And Jim, being my business partner, he is my cameraman, my editor. We turn and burn our show from the confines of a studio. Like that can be in your house. It's super easy, but there's a lot of steps to it. And really the brains behind Skullbound is definitely Jim, because he knows how to do all that. He knows how to take that footage, how to edit it, how to story tell it. But then there's the whole how to do music cue sheets. How do you have to portal it up to the network? Like all the detailed stuff.
So he's an artist as well then.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's
and he's a
awesome.
music creator. A lot of our own music in our show is created by Jim.
That's cool.
Yeah, we're just a great business team like that, and have really found a niche in the market and made it work. But really, the sales and the marketing side of it is a lot of work, and that's where my public relations and marketing degree really comes to play, because I take it really seriously. These are companies that trust in me, trust in my message on the show or my message on social media, and they believe in what Skullbound is about, and that is showing people that we're not a bunch of, hillbilly rednecks sitting in the pickup truck, spit and chew out the window and take pop shots at deer running away. That's what Hollywood would love to portray us all as, when we're animal lovers. We love nature. We love animals. I'm looking at my wall. I'm sitting in my living room right now, and I'm looking at my wall, right? And there's a whitetail, 2 muleys, 3 antelope, 2 elk, another whitetail, an Alaska moose, and a Maryland sika, all on my wall.
Yeah.
But that's because that's what I love, and I'm an animal lover, and these are memories of a lifetime. And people on my show, my show's purpose is to show that we're animal lovers, that hunting isn't about killing, it's all about living, and to brand hunting in a positive light so we can save it. I work for the conservation groups like Mule Deer Foundation, National Wild Turkey Federation, the Sportsman's Alliance, and I do a lot of pro bono work for these groups because they need our help in protecting our hunting heritage. If You and I were talking earlier a little bit about things that bug us in this industry or bug us even on social media in regards to hunting.
Yeah.
And the one thing that bugs me more than anything is when hunters bash each other. And
Oh,
when
my goodness, yeah.
I get it. Like, it's fun and easy. Like, oh, I would have never shot that big buck. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's easy. But truly, hunters are the worst enemies of other hunters. They bash each other. They fight amongst each other. And if they only knew the powers that be that are going on behind the scenes to take away, of course, our gun rights, but our hunting rights, our rights to hunt with dogs, our rights to trap, which needs to happen, and especially in predator-heavy states like the West. We're dealing with mountain lion issues, bear issues, grizzly bear issues, coyote issues, wolf issues. In fact, I'm on Facebook Live tonight talking about the wolf issue. These are major issues that
We'll tune in for sure.
Awesome. These are issues that are legitimate issues that should not have emotion involved. They need to have science behind them. But if you listen to mainstream media, we're all a bunch of big dummies, and the average person doesn't understand that wildlife management in this country is primarily paid for by hunters, and that there are more flocks, more herds, and more habitat because of hunters. And so hopefully people will watch my show and get that message.
Awesome. Trev, you had
I'm
something to say.
really
yeah?
up-winded.
No, that's cool.
No, I just agree with you 100% because it's a constant struggle, especially on the local level. Like just hunters beating up other hunters on like what they're doing constantly, and they just don't. And it's ridiculous. It's like, why can't we just all just band together and fight for these laws? Like I used to be very involved with like proactive in the state and like go to meetings for like our bear hunting. I mean 101 things over, but we can't even get 10 people to come to the meetings because they're too mad at each other, bitching about who's fighting who about this and that, and it's just ridiculous. Just why can't we all just band together and do this together?
One of my good friends just moved from Connecticut here into the Bitterroot Valley just because of that. He said, I can't stand it anymore with as much as the hunters fight and the gun owners fight with not gun owners, the gun rights people fighting against each other and the gun issues out east. And he moved out west simply because of what you just were talking about. And if people knew that the threats that are at, like, Sportsman's Alliance is a group that we all hunters need to be members of. They're the ones who are actually fighting inside the court systems. When a bill gets put in place and it's trying to, for example, stop hunting with dogs, that's not just bear hunting. They're trying to stop pheasant hunting with dogs, duck hunting with dogs, all kinds of hunting with dogs, and field trials. It's ridiculous. Well, someone's got to fight for hunters' rights. Someone's got to fight for the dog rights. You try telling any, hunting breeding dog that they shouldn't be hunting. Are you kidding? They live for it. They absolutely. It's what their DNA is all about. And groups like Sportsman's Alliance are in the courts fighting for our rights. And I think if most hunters understood what goes on behind the scenes, they might band together a bit stronger. Get involved, get off the couch, get involved, join these conservation groups, go to banquets, go to the meetings, and try to band together stronger.
That's awesome. That's exactly what our intro was about, actually. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up naturally.
Sweet.
So it correlated. It almost sounds like we had a chit-chat before the show.
We didn't really.
I know.
Even going into the Big Five, I know here in Connecticut, they're trying to ban it and almost give you jail time for importing any of the Big Five here in Connecticut.
Out of Africa,
I know.
That's crazy.
I know. That it's actually Sportsman's Alliance is on that right now. That's a big issue of theirs. And it's people, especially African hunting. I've been to Africa. I've hunted Africa. People don't understand. They don't understand that the hunters' dollars are what is paying
for anti-poaching. I mean, land, everything.
Systems, water tanks for the kids, for the wells. Medical care, you name it. That all goes for it. The worst thing that could have ever happened is that debacle with Cecil. It's actually Cecil, not Cecil. Cecil the lion. That whole, bleep show is absolutely bleep show is absolutely ridiculous. If people only knew the number of lions that they had to cull cull, meaning there's too many of them, we need to clear them out. It's predator management. If people only knew the number of lions that have been killed since that, and that no hunter's dollars went towards that, they may look at the situation differently.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the same issue with the big five over there. Like, they need to be managed. It needs to be managed in a legal system way. There needs to be a trade system where there's a value put on that animal, and that then those dollars, some of those dollars are allocated towards anti-poaching, like we talked about, well systems, school systems. It's just so misunderstood, but leave it to mainstream media to get something wrong. No way.
I know. It's crazy.
Right?
I'm glad you brought up Sportsman Alliance, because there's a quick little thing going on. It was like a flash almost. And I think you can remember this. It's like all of a sudden we started seeing pictures of trash in the woods on your news feed for social media. And I'm like, what is going on here? And it was a trash trophy thing that Sportsman Alliance was actually backing. So if you go on our personal pages, you'll get a kick on a couple things. I had to one up everyone. And in Connecticut, I live in the hood, so if there's parcels of woods, I'm definitely getting permission on those, and I'm pulling out car doors out of the woods and stuff. So it's like a challenge accepted.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's take it back to a more fun instead of. And I agree. We both agree 100% everything you're talking about, for sure.
Yeah.
And we're definitely big advocates of it. But what was your college go-to party drink? Let's get off hunting a little bit.
This is something I'm not very proud of. So just so you know, I've never talked about this on any podcast. So I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate mail, and your buddies are not gonna like me, but maybe they can convert me. I don't know. I've never had a beer in my entire life.
Really?
Is that not crazy? I'm from Wisconsin, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I've never had a beer. We're the biggest beer drinking state, and I would stand at parties holding a beer and like pour it into the plant next to me, because I hate beer so much.
Why are you killing plants, Jana?
I know, right?
Jana Banana.
It's cool. Come on. So maybe I'd go into the bathroom, pour a little bit out, but I loved going to parties. I was very social, but I hated beer. I love the smell of beer, but it's really rare for me to find a beer that I like the taste of. But maybe you guys can convert me. I don't know. I'm open to suggestions. But my go-to, don't laugh. I'm going to date myself. You guys probably don't even know what it is. Have you ever heard of Zima?
Oh, my gosh. Of course. Know what you need to do? I'll one-up you there. And I give some credit to Stevie Mo, but we've been doing it for years. He's a bit younger than me. Stevie Mo from Working Class Bowhunter, he drinks Zima as well. And he pops a Jolly Rancher in the Zima.
No way.
Yeah. Not only does it change the color, it changes the flavor to the Jolly Rancher. Wow. It's so good.
Well, yeah, I would totally do that. Yeah. I would totally do that. And I'm a gin and tonic kind of gal myself, or I love wines.
Oh, I
love wines.
Well, what's your go-to wine? Red wine.
Sauvignon Blanc. Oh, reds?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a red wine in the winter kind of gal, because they're warming, and they're warm to their room temperature, but they warm you. And then in the summertime, I like whites. My go-to red is called Writer's Block. It's just a red blend. And my go-to white is called Prophecy. It's a Sauvignon Blanc.
Ooh, yeah, that's really a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. See, I'm from the hood, so I go more...
Mad Dog 2020.
No.
Boone's Farm.
Yeah. Say Nights. No. Yeah. Oldie to the head. No. On a serious note, red, I go Malbec Diseño.
Oh, yeah.
And white, I go Sutter Home Chardonnay.
Oh, see, Chardonnay's a little dry for me.
Yeah.
But
I like the full flavor.
Yeah. I like a good, a lighthearted Riesling, not too sweet, but I like but Chardonnay, that's my mama's drink. That's her go-to.
I like the oakiness. I'm starting to like your mom now, too. Maybe we can make this work, Jana. I'm joking. All right, so let's see. What's your post? You must have a post-celebratory harvest poison that you like to celebrate with. After all the processing's done, or even during...
That's so funny you say that. You're going to laugh, because my buddy, Mount Goat Paul Survey, he and his wife Dee are some of my best friends. Well, Paulie came bear hunting with me last year, And in fact, I think that's next week's Skullbone episode.
Oh, sweet. Inside
we
scoop.
had the most incredible week. So picture, if you will, this is Montana. It's public land hunting. It's do-it-yourself. It's over-the-counter tags. All you have to do is go online and take a simple bear test. We do have grizzly bears in Montana, and you can't shoot grizzlies. They're still protected. But it's a black bear hunt. But you take a little test, and you can buy a tag over the counter. And it's all this public land that if you have the Onyx Maps app on your phone, you're good to go. Like, that's really all you need. You got to make sure what kind of land you're on and that you're in a bear area. But there's all of western Montana is a bear area. So we're bear hunting last year, and I got to tell you guys the craziest story. Like, it's amazing. I don't know if anybody saw it on the show already, but it's actually launching. I have a second show called Skullbound Chronicles, which we just launched on Carbon TV. And the beautiful thing about Carbon TV is it's like YouTube. It's free. There's no subscription-based. All of my previous episodes are on my Outdoor TV, which is the Sportsman's Channel and Outdoor Channel's online site. But it's subscription-based. But you also get more. You get, like, the full episodes, you know?
Sweet.
If you go to Carbon TV, it's like highlights of all my hunts. And there's only 5 or 6 episodes. We just launched it, but it's called Skullbound Chronicles. But next week or the week after launches this grizzly bear encounter that we had with Mount Goat Polly last year. We literally are hunting black bear in this is no known grizzly area. Now, mind you, there's always a chance, you know, but this is not a grizzly bear area like the Rocky Mountain Front where we elk hunt, where we saw 11 of them in 10 days last year. So we're right outside Missoula hunting black bear, and long short of it is we filmed a mating pair of grizzly bears from 160 to 400 to 500 yards away for 7 hours, and it was incredible. I mean, we're talking Nat Geo footage.
Dang, they were going at it for 7 hours.
7 hours. They would go at it, and it's really funny. They're not like dogs. They just like go at it, and then he just sits there for like.
Screw Viagra. I need grizzly testosterone.
Yeah. Right.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Amazing. It was so amazing to witness in the wild. None of us will ever have another day like that ever again. And then the cool thing about it was every time they finished, if you will, they got in a fight. They would stand up on their hind legs and she'd swat at them, and they'd bite each other, and they would fight. And
so they're a lot like humans then.
Yeah, I was just going to say, probably like a lot of couples, maybe. I don't know. But they would fight, and then she'd try to get away, and he'd stop her, and he would court her, and then they would clean each other. And it was the coolest. And because we had a big creek drainage in between us, we were safe. You know, we felt very safe. And Jim burned through every single battery that he owned on he had 3 different cameras with him, and it was amazing. And then 2 days later, we filmed. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's our most viral video we've ever filmed, where a blonde sow chases a black boar up the tree.
Yep,
Did you guys?
Yeah, we saw that.
Yep.
Yeah, the last time Viral Hog represents that video for us, and it has over, I think, 25 million views last time I looked. It's crazy, crazy, crazy footage. So all of that in the course of a week of filming. So our we ended up celebrating every night with lime-a-ritas.
Oh, sweet. There you go.
Don't ask why.
What flavor?
That was
the lime itself, right?
The lime one.
Okay.
I like the grape ones too, but the lime one was our celebratory. And since that amazing Bear Week, that's become our joke. Is the lime? We got to break out the lime-a-ritas.
I like that. You know what? I'm gonna start using that reference. Of like, what are you talking about, D-Rock?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's cool. So, not to get off subject, since that's like a big part of, I don't know, getting out there in the woods. Who's your top 3 deer camp regulars now, or actually just in general? Who's in your regular deer camp right now?
Oh, who are the people that I actually get to hunt with?
Yeah, on a regular basis, like when it's kind of off screen and it's more personal.
Yeah, well, that's definitely our Welton turkey camp. I don't get to have a deer camp like normal. And I know what deer camp is. I grew up having deer camp in Wisconsin because, well, think about it. Probably you guys too, in the East Coast and in the Midwest, you only have 8 or 9 days of a deer season, typically. The rifle season.
Oh,
that was deer
rifle
camp
season
for me. And my deer camp involves my dad, my stepson Brennan, my friend Allie, who's Allie Matthews, and her dad. So it's just family and friends. Not really family other than my dad and Brennan, but that's my deer camp. But here out west, I don't get the opportunity to have that because our seasons are so long. I'm hunting so much for Skullbound with a camera. It's definitely a job, and I don't get the chance to group hunt as much as I would like. And that's kind of the reason why we all get together for wall tent turkey camp. We pitch wall tents in the middle of the Missouri River break. It's Willie Schmidt from Pure Hunting, Jason Matzinger, it's his brainchild, this whole turkey camp. His show is Into High Country. Project Elk and Project Mule Deer are his documentaries that are definitely go-tos. You have to watch those.
Nice.
Jason Matzinger, Willie Schmidt, Greg McAlpin, the Onyx Maps boys are always there. And it's just a great group of guys that we look forward to hanging with every single year. I'm probably missing somebody and having a brain freeze. Julie's been to deer turkey camp a couple of times.
You know what? Shout out to Jules on the recent, position at Carbon. I think that was much needed. And actually, there's some more news that not too many people know, so I don't want to disclose it right now because it's official, but I don't think it's on social yet. But they're going to have a new marketing team as well, and the leader is a personal friend of mine. Congrats to him. So that'll be released soon too. Yeah, I love Carbon.
I'm so proud of Jules. She's turning Carbon TV around, making some major changes that needed to happen over there, and it's just booming right now. The reason we really like the component, so here people ask me, like, how do you succeed in this industry? This is a tough industry. Everybody would like a career in the hunting and fishing industry if they're outdoorsmen. Well, I personally think a lot of it is timing. A lot of it is I'm simply blessed. I'm such a blessed person. A lot of it was timing for me in our show.
Timing is everything,
Yeah, we pitched the idea of Skullbound TV when there weren't any solo female-hosted shows on the network. Now you've got Melissa's Winchester's Deadly Passion, which is an amazing show, and there's some others as well. But it was timing for us. But I really think the key to success right now is staying up on the times with things and hitting the pieces of the pie. Like if you put all your eggs in one basket and you're only on one network, or you only write for magazines, it can be really challenging. The magazine world is changing and going online. The TV world is changing a bit. I still think TV is a fantastic place to be. I'm proud to be on Sportsman. Our numbers last year have never been higher. So when there are a lot of people are maybe not carrying the network as much, and maybe people think they don't get as many eyeballs, we're still getting great eyeballs on the network. I think it's a great place to be, but we also want to be, hitting other pieces of the pie. I'm an outdoor writer. I'm in a lot of magazines. I also have a good social media presence, and I don't do that with another marketing company. It's me. It's me running Skullbound's Instagram, Facebook. I don't want anyone else talking for me or answering questions for me. And so I think that's a key component for people who want careers in this industry. And then, so it's magazines, online, blogs, doing podcasts. I never turn down a podcast because it's a great opportunity to meet new people, get your message out there, share the knowledge and the fun stories, and TV. And so Carbon TV is a great component to being on TV because it's free. Anyone can go download and watch the episodes.
Yeah, it's streaming. That's the key right now. I really think that everything's transitioning to streaming. Streaming and like you said, podcasts for sure. But
yeah, for sure. Especially when YouTube is becoming very discretionary against gun videos, predator videos, whereas Carbon celebrates the hunter and is so happy to have gun videos, instructional videos, predator hunting, all kinds of legal, ethical hunting. And it's fun to be able to have that outlet now too.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, I mean, you're always... I don't want to say you're always hunting. Presumably, you're always outdoors. I'll say that. So, do you ever dream about past hunts, like good or even some nightmares of something that you might be critical about yourself?
Are you kidding? I'm going to be talking about it tonight on the Facebook. If I had $1, so I did an episode about what I'm about to talk about, and I showed the miss. It's the one miss in my life that I will forever think about. I was hunting the Bitterroot Valley with Jim and another buddy, and we weren't seeing any deer in an area where you typically come around the ridges and, you spook doe out left and right. We weren't seeing any deer, and we're like, what the hell? And so we were walking kind of out, and we heard a wolf howl, and it coming from way down in the canyon. Well, sure enough, we set up, and Jim and my buddy started howling back and forth. And Jim's howled wolves in the Northwest Territories. He's really good at it. And started howling. We'd been sitting there about 45 minutes, and we could hear him howl back. Jim could hear him on the headphones a lot, stronger than I could. I was losing my patience, and I said, let's go. He's not coming in. He goes, no, let's move down closer into the valley. So we moved about 100 yards down, set up again. Jim started howling. He could hear a faint howl, and he said, I'm telling you, he's coming in. He's deafening his howl to see where we're at. And I'm like rolling my eyes going like, whatever. Okay. So, well, I'm sitting about 10 yards away from him against a big tree. I've got my gun kind of in my lap. I'm not even as focused as I should have been. All of a sudden, Jim whispers, out front. And I look out front, and at, 60, 70 yards down the hill in the brush, I see movement. And the first thing I thought of was it was a black bear. Like it was big, and it was just moving behind a tree. All of a sudden, he comes around a tree. Here he comes. A monster black wolf is coming in to us. He starts to move, and he's coming up the hill towards us. And in my mind, I'm like pick a lane, because there's lots of trees, and I'm like scanning the area. I bring my gun up. I have an opening. I think he's going to cross. He starts to trot. I shoot when I've got fur. I've got fur in the scope. And as I shoot, he bends down to sniff the trail, and I shoot. I thought I hit him, but I didn't. I shoot right over the back of his neck as he's bending down, and he takes off, and we celebrate. I thought I hit him. I mean, it's 50 yards. It's a pop shot. I got my 300 Win Mag, done. I thought I probably didn't hit him as solid as I thought. That's why I ran off, but I thought I hit him. Ended up, long story short, I missed him, and that miss, if I had $1 for every guy who's ever stopped me and said, I cried with you on the wolf episode when you missed. Yeah. It was heart-wrenching. It's a good episode, though. We tell the wolf story. I interview some wolf biologists. I interview Scott Rockholm, who is a wolf sort of wolf guru.
Scott. Yeah, Scott's got good info.
Yeah, and so, that'll be the one moment. Man, I'm long-winded today. I'm sorry. You asked me questions. I'm like going on and on about it.
No, this one makes it great. I love it.
Oh, thanks. But yeah, that's my one miss that but if I had to, everybody always asks me, what's your favorite hunt? And what's the one hunt you go back to all the time? And it's almost impossible. There've been so many amazing hunts. I mean, I've been hunting since I was a kid, and they're all amazing for one reason or another. My dad, when he came out here and mule deer hunted with me for the first time, was epic, just emotional. Probably our backcountry do-it-yourself Alaska moose hunt got to be top 5 moments of my life when I'm looking at him right now, 64.5-inch stud bull stepped out. Wow. Yeah, and I cranked him. He was 80 yards. I mean, if I had it by bow, we probably could have called him into bow range. Yeah. But that's an awesome episode that's on my outdoor TV right now. If you want to go watch it, that's probably one of my, because we did it ourselves. We rented the horses. The wrangler took us way into the mountains, dropped us off. Had to get your water from the creek every day. We didn't have to pack out the moose, of course, but we phoned the wrangler, and then he brought the pack string in days later to get all the moose meat out and the head and everything. But that was an epic hunt. That was a highlight of my life.
That's awesome. So what's your most memorable bow hunt that you can think of?
They're all amazing. I'm looking right now at my wall. I arrowed a beautiful Montana 6. Elk has been my nemesis. I mean, I love bow hunting elk. I have probably made more mistakes bow hunting elk, but those mistakes are what you learn and what how you grow. And I think the most challenging hunt to film and get it good on film is archery elk hunting. And not to say there aren't guys who get it down right, like Jason Matzinger, Corey Jacobson. Those guys know how to do it and do it right. But that moment I came up on and I was in Grizz territory, so it freaked me out. I had to leave the bull overnight because I wasn't positive where the shot was. And to find that bull the next morning, there were no bears on him. I just bawled like a baby. That was that. And my sick deer from Maryland. It was one of my favorite moments of all times. I leapt out. A lot
Aren't
of people
those
don't even
so
know
delicious? Sick of deer?
Oh, the best.
Oh,
The
yeah.
best.
Without a
The
doubt.
best meat I've ever eaten. And I eat everything. I mean, I in my freezer right now, I got mountain lion, bear, elk, muley,
Hell
antelope,
yeah.
you name it.
Hell
Bear.
yeah.
When the last package of Sika meat disappeared, we cried. It was, it was sad.
Yeah. I
But
can
people
relate.
don't even know that hunt exists. And that was one of the coolest. I didn't either. A buddy named Dale Gertz, he came and approached me about the hunt, and we talked about 2 or 3 years before I could find the time and committed to going. These are little aquatic deer that are from indicative of Asia, brought over at the turn of the century. You
Yeah,
guys know.
subspecies of elk from like you said, Asia.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and they live in this phragmite grass, this 10-foot tall grass, and they swim, and it's just amazing. And they bugle like little elk, and the hinds whistle. I mean, the fog would be rolling off the swamps, and you just hear them whistling all over. And it was truly like being in another country. That hunt, and I just happened to have dumb luck. They'd never even seen this stag on their property before. And I arrowed, at the time, it might have gotten beat last year by one, but it's the 7th largest on record book taken with a bow ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey,
Yeah.
you ever need a Pope and Young measurer? Just look me up if you're on the East Coast.
Well, I wish that they were on Pope and Young. They're not even recognized.
I know.
Is that not pathetic?
I know. Actually, I brought that up. I had to take my course in Alaska, in Anchorage, and I brought that up to Randall. He's the director of measuring out there, and I'm like, dude, we need to get these people on, or the species on. And he's like, I couldn't agree more, but he's like, there's just not enough people killing them, and that's the only reason why.
Yeah, I understand that. I wish they were recognized because I have other book animals. I just have never I'm one of these people, like, people are like, whoa, what'd he score? I don't know. I don't even remember. I don't really care. Like, I don't really care what something scores. I care about the moment. I care how he looks. I don't care if he's not going to score very well because he's weak on the front forks. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? He's awesome. And to me, a public land animal is already going to score in my heart bigger than where I'm going with an outfitter. And I'm not anti-outfitter. I love outfitters. I go with them all the time. But I do a lot of more do-it-yourself hunts, and it just is way more rewarding when you're putting your time in yourself and you're doing your own scouting and you're doing your own recovery. It's just anything that takes a lot of hard work is always more rewarding. And so
it's
I
more
don't really
intimate.
care what something scores, but I do have some book animals. But we got to get Sika in there. It would be nice to actually go down in the record books with such a unique species.
Yeah, for sure. So, in the hunting, every time you go out, what would you say is your most difficult physical obstacle to date when you go on every hunt?
Most difficult physical obstacle.
Yeah. Like personally.
I don't know. That's a good question. Sometimes it just can be sheer exhaustion. Jim, my cameraman producer, he is a beast in the mountains. He doesn't stop. So, like, to me, sometimes I'm worn out. Like, we'll go 10, 12 miles in up, down, steep terrain, especially like with bear. We'll hike into the logging road. We'll go 3 miles back in, and then we'll hike and glass and hike. And same with archery elk, and you're going up and down and tons of floors. And my biggest obstacle is just getting worn out. And I train a lot. I work out every other day. It's just sheer exhaustion of the mountains sometimes for me personally. But packing out can be a challenge too. Let's face it. I can't stand it when people when especially women are like, we're equal. Men and women are equal. No, we're not equal. I cannot lift as much as Jim can lift. I can't pack out 120 pounds on my back like he can. If my pack has 60 pounds, I'm good. I'm good. Like it's going to take me like, I might have to do 2 or 3 trips.
See, we're good for something,
Yeah. Yeah.
Use us as mules. We'll do it.
Packing out that meat, of course. But sometimes it's frustrating that I'm not physically as strong as some of the men that I hunt with. But, you do the best you can. You make a couple trips if you've got to, but it is what it is. But it's funny when people are, oh, yeah, we're the same. We're equal. No. It doesn't work out like that. Just like those, people who, like, guys who want to run girls, they're transgender, and now they want to run girls track in high school.
Yeah, it's
That's not fair.
no. Yeah, no.
That's not quite fair.
Yeah.
Same kind of difference.
Yeah, I'm all for the times we live in now, but yeah, I agree with that. There, it's cheating. It's cheating.
I'm all for freedom. You can live your life however you want. I'm not here to judge. I'm all for, freedom of lifestyle, whatever floats your boat. But we are physically different creatures. And so the one thing that you asked, like, what's your biggest physical? It's just sometimes it's sheer strength and endurance. I just wish I had more sometimes. But you keep doing what you're doing, you train. I feel like at 47, I'm in better shape now than I was at 37 and 27. So
47? No way. Come on.
Way.
Wow.
Way.
Wow.
I'm proud of that. Like,
yeah,
people think,
you take care of yourself for sure.
Thank you. I thank you very much. I wouldn't go back for anything. Are you kidding? A woman's brain just gets better and better every year.
It's like fine wine. It's like fine wine.
Yep.
All right, so let's go back to the fun side a little bit. And okay. What's your other nickname? You told us Jana Banana.
Oh, Jana Banana, because people call me Jana if I don't say that. And Sherman. So my nickname Sherman has come back around. It disappeared for about probably 25 years. My parents said that I was a little I was one of those like chubby little girls who was just like constantly dirty faced, chubby, and my parents called me Sherman because I just plowed through everything when I was a little kid. They stopped, as in Sherman Tank. They stopped calling me that probably when I went to kindergarten, realizing it'd give me a complex, So never really brought it up much again, never really thought about it again. When I met Jim 10 years ago, that story came up, and he thought it was so funny that he called me Sherman. And Julie calls me Sherman all the time. And so it's definitely come back around. In fact, I did an appearance at the Denver, Colorado Avalanche game last month. And it was a really awesome event. Here, the Avalanche is very supportive in hunting. They had a big conservation night at the arena. It was so awesome, cool. Put on by Sportsman's Outdoor Channel and the Avalanche team. And they just sent me my jersey in the mail, and it says Sherman on the back. It's so cool.
That's so dope. That's so dope. I got to see a picture of that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll post it tonight.
That's really cool. So what's your favorite kind of music? Well, what do you listen to?
I am the biggest music dork on the planet. I don't know music. Like people think I'm so weird by saying that. I can't even name you right now off the top of my head a Blake Shelton song. Like I don't know song. I'm a total music idiot. The reason is, I listen. If you saw what was on my iPad or iPhone now, you'd crack up because I work out to the most like embarrassing, raunchy rap music you've ever heard.
That's pretty East Coast of you, though. Yeah. That's pretty East Coast.
Is it? Yeah. Oh, good. Okay. Cool. Well, and I don't even know who the people are. I like a weird beat when I'm working out and lifting, and I don't like. But when I'm like, I love Chris Stapleton. So like my favorite, probably Chris Stapleton. While I'm cleaning the house or chilling out, Chris Stapleton, Zach Brown, kind of music like that. But I'm admittingly a music idiot. Like, I don't even know. I wouldn't even be able to name 3 people at the CMT Awards. Like, not possible. Not possible. I'm just an idiot in that way. I know what I know in what's on my iPhone or my iTunes account, but I'm probably the biggest music idiot you'll ever meet. The funny thing is, Jim is too. He's a producer of music himself and a songwriter, and he's written a lot of great songs, but he's a music idiot too. He doesn't know anything that's new, neither one of us are like that. It's just weird. But if I had to name one album that I would take on the deserted island, it would be Traveler, Chris Stapleton.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
There you go. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Oh, good. Okay.
You know, to work out with, since you like rap and you like country too, you should look up Upchurch.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, a little East Coast love right there. You know,
and not even
Upchurch.
Upchurch. And then if you want something that's a little bit more backwoods and country, to go with JJ Lawhorn.
He JJ Lawhorn out of Tennessee.
No.
All right.
He just came out with the Huntsman, which is all about hunting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No way. Okay, totally.
And he's definitely got a little attitude. And you know, he's influenced by East Coast because he's originally a Virginia boy. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I'm always looking. Hey, everybody DM me. I'm always looking for new music. I really am, because I'm a music idiot. I probably won't remember the names of the songs and who sings them, but they'll be on my iTunes and I'm going to be cranking them. So I like it. Yeah. Send your ideas my way.
That's awesome.
Even with you being with the National Wild Turkey Federation, he also just wrote one that's called Last Call, and it's about shooting gobblers.
Oh, heck yeah. Really? Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Nice. I also like Luke Combs a lot.
Oh, nice.
That's a killer.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
For sure.
He, I was introduced to him through Weather Guard, which is one of my sponsors, and I really, really like him.
Oh yeah. Another East Coast boy that's put a stamp in the field is Aaron Lewis. You can't knock him down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No,
that's a no-brainer right there.
Yeah, that is a no-brainer. I should have mentioned him as well.
you know what? What does Jana Waller do day by day? What do you do when you're not filming? Like your favorite thing to do?
That's a really good question, because it's such a big part of our lives. Like, we literally are, when you're not hunting, we're filming other things. You know, Jim owns a production company, and so we're filming. We have 17 sponsors from big to little that we're constantly working for. Those sponsors need ads. They need commercial work. They need print work. They need photos, social media plugs. So it is a huge part of my daily life, is my job, that people might not even think of as work, but it is social media and production work. And then there's my skull business. I've been so busy on the production side of things, I haven't done a lot of skull work lately, but I've got 4 jobs sitting in my office, one of them being an African lion skull. It's epic.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, that one's getting bronzed and beaded.
Oh, wow.
So I work on skulls, I write articles, I work out, I've got a gym right in my house, so that's nice. It's a big part of my daily routine. This is going to sound so dumb, but maybe I'll inspire somebody else. I used to be a big reader, like 10 years ago, and before that, I was a big reader. And a lot of what I love to read are either veteran books, war books, because I think my dad, that's one of the things my dad and I really share in common. He loves books about World War II especially, but also Vietnam era and any other war books specifically, but he loves World War II books. And so do I. He passes them on to me. Between World War II books and self-help books. Well, in the last 10 years, as this career has taken off and Skullbound's taken off, and we have been so busy, I'm so tired at night that I don't even find time to read, and I've really missed it. And with some life changes that have been going on in my life the last couple of months, I've really gotten back into reading. And as weird as it sounds, it's quiet time. There's nobody else in the house but me, and I can just dive into a book, and that's what I'm trying to do a little bit during the day, every day, and a little bit at night.
Yeah, I'm definitely a big advocate for reading as well. My not many people at all know this about me, but my dad was a marine biologist, scientist, and definitely a big reader, and he owned his own family bookstore. So once the bookstore closed down, our whole attic was like a mini library. So that's what I spent most of my time doing in my childhood. That's why I know all the most random fun facts. You know.
Well, I want you on my trivia team then if we ever go to the bar.
There we go. Yeah. That might just happen. Don't tempt me with a good time. So speaking of that, what is the breaking news?
Oh, breaking news meaning life-changing events that have gone on. Well, life changes, right? And it can be tough and throw you curveballs at times. And had a curveball thrown at me recently. Jim and I are no longer together as a couple, as a romantic couple, but, and as tough as that is to sort of maneuver through, we've been together a decade, we are doing our best to save our business. It's what we're really good at together. So he still has his Kinsey HD Productions company. We are still collectively doing Skullbound together as a TV show and Skullbound Chronicles, and collectively working with our sponsors together. And we're just focusing on being coworkers and best friends. And it's a change. It's the dynamic change. We don't live together anymore, and we're basically coworkers. But I think it's a beautiful thing that we can both, try to salvage that part of our lives. We've both been in each other's lives for 10 years. We both mean a lot to each other. We've both helped each other accomplish so many great things that we're not going to be angry and bitter and that kind of thing, that we're going to work on the positives. So
that's dope. That's much needed, especially with success. I mean, it takes big, experienced people to come to those terms too. So I respect that. On both sides. I respect it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. And he's an amazingly talented person, and I hope that we can continue to do the great things we've done together. I'm really proud of the work we've done together behind the scenes that some people don't even know about in our work with the conservation groups. I just recently got back from DC, where I was able to sit on the United States Hunting and Shooting Sports Conservation Council, and I'm sitting in a room blown away by that. I'm sitting at a table with Sonny Perdue, the Secretary of Agriculture. I'm sitting across from the heads of U.S. Forest Service and BLM and, Boone and Crockett and Mule Deer Foundation and all these other organizations that are at the top level in government, and they're making big, big decisions for our country. And I'm proud of that. If I didn't have Skullbound, I would never be honored to sit on that board. And, things like that we can't just say. I certainly didn't get there by myself. Jim and I, as a business team, have done a lot of great things with Skullbound, and so hopefully we're going to continue that and continue supporting each other with our careers.
That's really cool. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. If you're in the East Coast, you can look me up. Sorry, Jimmy. Sorry, it's okay. But do we have any future goals for Skullbound in the future, or for yourself?
Yeah, I don't know how many more years we're going to be doing Skullbound. I feel like we need to be like Seinfeld and go out on a good note. It's just, when is that note? We've been it's funny, when we started Skullbound, we're like, yeah, let's do it for a few years and see where it goes. We really never thought it would lead into all these other amazing opportunities. And, I hope that continues too. My goal is to not turn down great opportunities out of fear or anxiety. As much as I'm an extrovert and as much as I love challenges and to take on new things, they can become overwhelming, and I think, I'm not going to do that. I may not be good at that, or I don't know, that makes me nervous. I've never really said no to anything like that, and they've led me to meet some of the most amazing people. I've been on Animal Planet shows talking about invasive species. I've done a lot of shows and been really lucky to co-host things with amazing people. I really hope that continues. Like, that would be my goal, is to say yes to other fun projects. Hopefully projects come in my way, and get more involved with my conservation groups. I really, really want to get more involved. I'll have a little bit more time if we only do Skullbound for another season or two. That'll open up my calendar a little bit to work on like specific projects with the Mule Deer Foundation, with the National Wild Turkey Federation, maybe advocate better for the Sportsman's Alliance. That's where my passion lies, in making a difference for our kids' hunting heritage, and I'd like to be able to kind of focus more on that when things do slow down a little bit.
Amen. Pro women and pro kids to bring conservation numbers up, for sure.
Yep.
Without a doubt. Along with education, but it's safe to say that's a no-brainer, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think so too.
All right, Jana Banana, you made it to the first segment of the show, is Ninja Tip of the Day. What do you have for the best advice, outdoor advice for any outdoorsman for our listeners? Ninja Tip of the Day.
Ninja Tip of the Day. Okay, it's going to seem like a shameless plug, but it's real, okay?
That's fine.
Download Onyx Maps on your phone. And the reason I say that is I can't tell you how many times that app has saved my life. Like, literally saved my life. Onyx Maps is the Hunt app is on your phone. You don't have to have cell service, but you do have to remember to cache in the area you're going into in case you don't have cell service in the mountains.
Oh, that's dope.
But like, for example, it's saved my life might be a little bit dramatic in a sense, but like, let's say, for example, and this has happened so many times, you drop off the mountain because you're going after an elk or a bear, and you have to mark camp or mark your truck. Well, if you get in there and you get a bear down or you get a bull down, it takes you, you're usually skinning and quartering and deboning till wee hours of the night. And you want to take the best line of back to your vehicle or back to your camp. And I'm not telling you how, I can't tell you how many times I've had to pull out the map and look, and I'm absolutely in the wrong direction. Or I point where I think the truck's going to be, and it's opposite, or it's way off. And that saved me so many miles with a 60-pound backpack on your back, climbing up out of the mountain and going to the right logging road and going right to the truck. I would definitely, and then, not even more so than that, for not getting lost, for crying out loud. Onyx Maps is probably the best single tool that I would recommend everybody have, and it's for every single state. Do you want to know my best life hack, which you're going to laugh at because it's so simple?
Yeah, I want to know.
Yeah.
And the reason I say this is someone just asked me this the other day when we were at turkey camp. So it was freezing at turkey camp. It got really cold at night in the tents. I mean, below 30. And take hot hands with you and throw them in the bottom of your sleeping bag. And no matter what, you're going to be toasty.
Oh,
it sounds dumb. It's epic.
No,
It
you know
totally,
what? That's awesome because believe it or not, I don't know if a lot of people knew this, but there's always your core, right? Your core temperature, and people think like torso area for your core temperature, but where you get the most of your core temperature is your feet. If your feet are warm, your body's going to be warm.
Yeah.
So that makes total sense. I love that.
Oh, yeah. It's so nice for and not just hunting, camping with the kids, whatever. If, a lot of questions people throw at me are like, how do I get my gal to hunt? She's always cold. How do I get my gal to go camping with me? She's always cold. Or she can't find good boots, or she can't this or that. And it's really important that, especially if you're trying to get your kids or your ladies into hunting or into hiking or into camping, they've got to be comfortable. They've got to have good gear. They've got to have good boots, and they've got to be able to sleep comfortably if you're in a camping situation. So it sounds funny, but it's a life hack. And those hot hands in your pockets, in the bottom of your sleeping bags when you sleep at night, those little things can really make a trip way more comfortable, and then they're way more apt to go out and do it again.
I love that. That's an awesome life hack. Trev learned a life hack from me. He forgot his we were deer hunting, and he forgot, and there's snow on the ground, mind you, and he forgot his hunting boots, and he had like running shoes on.
Yeah, Nike running shoes.
So what I tell you to do?
Cover it in bags, plastic bags.
With what though? With the hot hands on your feet?
With the hot hands, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
Yeah. We have this thing called Trev's bloopers, and I have the tendency of always having fucked up things happen to me, and that's definitely one of the things. I forgot my boots this year. I stepped on a decap. I've done a lot of different messed up things, so I have D-Rock to save me.
I could totally top that. I went to Idaho one time on a bow hunt and forgot my bow. So,
what'd you do?
I came home. So I only live not less than an hour from the Idaho border. In fact, this weekend I'm going to be putting in baits. So Montana is baitless. We all spot and stalk. You climb the mountains. You look for a bear. Idaho, it's so thick in the Selway Bitterroot Forest of Idaho that you're allowed to bait and get the bears in. And just because you bait, it does not make it simple. Last year, we did not have a bear come in to bait until the 6th night because we were sitting on the ground with them like we do in Canada, and they just were not having that. But it's only about an hour away. But no, I went over. So the night before that, we had hunted and we was in the rain. I brought my bow inside to dry it off with the hairdryer. I hate it when my bow gets rusty. Well, sure enough, the next day I forgot to put my bow back in because I always usually have it in the back of my truck. And we get all the way over there and climbing out, and I'm like, oh no, I forgot my bow. So when I tell people, no, I've literally gone on a hunt without the weapon. They're like,
yeah, you top Trev's bloopers.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, that's Jana's bloopers now.
Yeah,
cool. Yep. So Jana Waller, what rattles your antlers? What gets under your skin in the hunting industry? Or in life in general.
Yeah. We already talked about hunters bashing other hunters. It's so irritating and it's doing nobody good. Okay, here we go. What clashes my... It wasn't a clash. What word did you use?
Rattles your antlers. What rattles your
antlers? Is when girls sexify their hunting pictures.
Preach, sister. Preach, please.
Preach it, baby. It is so annoying to me. And look, hey, who doesn't like to look at pretty women? All for pretty women. I'm all for women empowerment. I'm all for, girl, you do what you got to do to feel sexy. Whatever. But when it comes to hunting and I just saw it today. Some gals posing with a wildebeest in a bikini top. Please, come on. You're degrading the rest of us women who are out there field dressing our own game, who are doing our own scouting, who are putting in the work, who don't need to sexify hunting pictures just to get likes. It doesn't mean that and maybe someone criticized me because I have makeup on. Trust me, you don't want me to not have makeup on. But that's my thing. If I'm gonna take a picture and it be seen by 50,000 people, I'm gonna have makeup on. I always say to guys who criticize me for that. Well, would your wife go to her class reunion with no makeup? No, she probably wants to look good. Well, I like to look good, and I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to look your best. But when women sexify their fishing pictures even or their hunting pictures, it really irritates me because then we're not all out there like that. I don't need the likes. I'm trying to pass on my love. I'm trying to inspire other women to get out there. I'm trying to, there's nothing wrong with being proud of a photo or of a hunt. I just can't stand it when it's all sexied up. So
yeah, no, I agree.
My antlers.
Awesome. You know what? I couldn't agree more because little do they know is the actual hunter, even men. It's so sexy just to see a woman taking down a huge animal and they're not covered in blood, but they have blood on on their hands. And like you said, you're not picking your nail polish color. You have blood on your nails. That's sexy.
I think so too. And what these girls maybe don't understand is, they might get a lot of likes, but first of all, those don't translate into sales. They don't most of the companies I work for, they wouldn't touch that kind of picture with a 10-foot pole. They were not going to get behind some gal who's got 12 inches of cleavage showing, and holding up probably her dad's buck. They're not going to get behind that. They're not going to support that. These girls might get tons of likes and big followers, but I mean, these guys, they're the guys who are,
you don't want them. Yeah, you don't want them.
They never gutted their own buck.
Their mom's basement eating Cheetos and eating Hot Pocket. Come on, let's be real,
Yeah, Kit put it best. Those are the people that didn't get their hands in a gut pile.
Yeah. Exactly. I like that. Yep.
Cool. We want to be sensitive to your time because I know you have something to do, and we're going to tune in right after. So we always like to end the show with a round of positivity, and I always like to put Trev on the spot. So Trev, round of positivity, go.
I can't thank you for coming on the show. And the round of positivity is just a strong-willed, push-forward, driven woman hunter. There's not many of them out there, and you're definitely setting the standard for the rest of them. And I can't thank you enough for doing that and being inspiring to others and taking the time to be with us and spend this hour with us. Can't thank you enough.
Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you so much. That really means a lot. I appreciate that.
Heck
Thank
yeah.
you.
So Jana Waller from Skullbound TV, round of positivity, what do you have?
So, okay, let me clarify. Is this round of positivity towards one of you two, towards life in general, towards other women? Is it a tip?
Just positive.
First thing that comes to mind.
Round of positivity. I think what I would love to say to everybody is to just get out there. I think there are a lot of women especially, and some men who feel intimidated. They look at all these amazing Instagram pics or social media pics, and they're like, it just looks like it's all so easy and looks like, no, I make mistakes. I've been hunting over 30 years, and I make mistakes all the time. And I just think it's important to get out there and to try new things and to see where you might excel and what you might love about hunting or fishing or even trapping. I think anybody can do it. It's as long as you've got good mentors and as long as you have the right attitude, anybody who has any interest in any form of hunting can do it. Is that too broad or general? But it's so true. I hear a lot from women who have anxiety over even starting and just they don't need to.
Right. No, it could be a bit daunting for even just the new hunter in general.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's really good advice. So that wasn't vague at all. That was really good. Really good.
Okay.
My round of positivity is just this moment right now. Just really spreading the love and the unity. That's been our motto lately. It's like we're the United States of America, not the segregated states of America. Hunters need to stop bashing hunters. We need to get more new hunters into the field, especially women and especially children. And I think that's the segue is women specifically. So this way we could, typically women are better with children. This way they could they can word it better and not be so aggressive as us, good for nothing men. Well, no, we could pack meat out. We could pack the meat out. Yeah. So we're good mules, but when it comes to the children.
No, it's really true though. That's a great point. We are losing our older generations of hunters, as the men who, the greatest era of our nation, and they're dying off. The 70, 80, 90-year-old men who everybody used to hunt. We're losing those hunters. We are not replacing them fast enough, but studies show that if the woman in the household hunts, the kids are going to hunt. So it is really crucial to protect our hunting heritage and really getting the women involved because they then will get their kids involved automatically. And so I think it's really important for everybody to take their daughters out there, take their young girlfriends, their teenagers, and their wives out and get them involved in some form or fashion because that's what's going to save our heritage.
Amen. And leave that bikini at home. Put on some camo.
Put your clothes on, ladies. Come on now.
And on that note, stay stepping
and stay slaying.
Try to let a few doors walk, but if that freezer runs low, I gotta stock it. These scrub bucks got no mask, darn sure no drop times, but this chili has deer burger in it tonight.
Dude, where did this podcast go? Straight to hell. Yeah, speaking of hell, check out East Coast Bowhunting Podcast.
We keep it real on East Coast. First of all, I'm addicted to the show. I like that. That's cool. Full bore hunt. You live it, you breathe it. It's a whole different world. Just East Coast has a little bit more of an edge and a grind. It's a fantastic thing.
You guys are fucking awesome.
Well, number one is you guys like beer. I want to feel like I'm hanging with the boys.
You're the guys that showed up.
But I actually saw Jesus.
The point where it is now where it's insane.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Just want to get the realest people possible in the industry. And you just got to piss people off. You're not doing it right. Nothing forced. All fucking natural.